Of all of the fucked up parts of Canadian heritage, few compare to our ridiculously stupid tradition of going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. Since 1901, 15 people have attempted the stunt. Why? Because Canada can be fucking boring, that's why. First to try was 63-year-old schoolteacher Annie Taylor, who did so in hopes of becoming rich and famous. She survived the drop, but died in poverty years later after realizing nobody would pay to take pictures of an old lady next to her crappy barrel. Other notable Niagara nincompoops include William Hill, who died in his rickety homemade barrel of inner tubes and fishing net. Cementing their genetic inferiority, Hill's family vowed revenge for his death. On who? You guessed it, on the waterfall. In 1990, American daredevil and great example of natural selection, Jesse Sharp, booked dinner reservations before paddling his kayak over the falls. Unfortunately, the only one who got fed that night were the fish in the rapids below. Some say his date is still waiting for him in the parking lot of that shitty Niagara Applebee's. 1995 saw stunt stud Robert Overcracker launch himself off of the falls on a jet ski with the noble idea of drawing attention to the homeless crisis in California. In a totally predictable course of events, his parachute did not deploy and Overcracker met his fate. Since then, not only has homelessness been left unsolved, but according to a gypsy crackhead I met in an alley behind a dirty Applebee's in Niagara, Overcracker is to blame. As recently as 2017, half-wits have continued to make the voyage to the repugnant, overpriced hot dog stand of a town known as Niagara Falls to tempt fate in its waters and not only be remembered by Canadians, but ridiculed by them long after their deaths on internet comedy shows. Hello, and welcome to Glorious and Free. I'm your host, Bryan O'Gorman. This is my good friend and our guest today, Nick Beaton, everybody. Give it up.
Hi, I'm Nick Beaton. Hello.
It's good to have you here, Nicholas
It's great
Beaton.
to be here.
Yeah, or as he's known in Russia, Nikolai Beatonov.
Yeah, man, that's a good one.
That's one from elementary school that your friends used to call you that you told us in college and we haven't let go.
It was one guy in high school, actually. And it was weird because it was high school. And it took that long for it to come out. And I was like, well, that's just a good one. That's a real, that's a solid.
Yeah, you can't get mad when they nail you.
Yeah,
you know, what are you going to do? Oh, hey, you're a fan of language and a student of language, and you're a great comedian. But I was wondering, I wanted to show you this thing about an article that was out in The Guardian. And The Guardian has decided that they're going to use different language now to make people feel like climate change is more urgent.
Mm-hmm.
So what they've done is instead of using the phrase climate change, they're going to say climate crisis, and instead of global warming, they're going to say global heating.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's going to change anything or help at all?
No. Yeah, of course not.
Not in the least.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say. Like everybody's become so tribal and in their own sort of political ideological camps that like it doesn't matter what you say. It's not going to change somebody who already doesn't believe it. Like confirmation bias, something everybody knows is a thing, but it's becoming worse every day. People just don't want to read the opposing view. So if all their news sources they read are telling them climate change is being blown out of proportion, there's no reason for this carbon tax or to pull, like our emissions aren't having that much of an effect. It'll destroy the economy to do it. Yeah, you can, call it climate fucks your wife, and the people are still going to be like, I don't care, it doesn't matter, it's not true.
You don't think, beefing up the language, sexying up the language will whip people into shape? Like, for example, I was thinking instead of saying the words defunding healthcare, they could refer to it as the poor people genocide. That might,
Well, that would, yeah. But
or instead of opioid epidemic, sleepy apocalypse, I was thinking instead of yoga teacher, call them what they really are, anti-vaxxers.
Yes, they are.
And then call anti-vaxxers what they really are, child murderers.
Jessica Biel is an anti-vaxxer now?
And a child murderer.
There you go.
It's been proven. Cryptocurrency, instead of using that phrase, I'm thinking we could say wholesale drug money for nerds. And then abortion ban, instead of that, call it what it really is. Republicans getting back at women that wouldn't fuck them.
There you go.
I don't know. I think if you change some of the language, it does help
a little bit, but the language isn't the problem. It's the actions that they're speaking of.
I get that calling something like climate crisis, in a way, it sounds more severe. Climate change should sound just as severe, though. Like, climate changing is not good, because climate, again, everybody confused, not everybody, the dumb people or the people who are trying to push their message confuse climate with weather, right? Weather change happens all the time. Climate change does not. Like, when things shift from like, oh, this was a moderate environment that experienced all 4 seasons, now they only get 2, and it's extreme heat and extreme cold, and that's it. Like,
Right.
That's dangerous. I guess by calling it crisis instead of change, it to some people would emphasize that point. But you're not going to tell me the people who make laws and the people who follow those people, the people who sign as like, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, who don't believe in climate change, are going to believe that by calling it climate, The Guardian calling it climate crisis, a fucking left-wing rag, that they're going to believe it, because they're already now prone to believe their own news sources. If the New York Post or, some notorious right-wing conservative, Breitbart or the Daily Wire came out and started calling it climate crisis, they'd start to change. But if they're only going to read what they read anyway, what's that saying? It's like the people this book would help would never take the time to read it, right? So the people who don't read The Guardian are never going to get that fucking information anyway.
Yeah, it's so true. And like, it almost like just reinforces all the stuff that they already believe. It's going to be like, you're just changing the language for these snowflakes to make it easier for them. They're sort of playing into the narrative that the right is putting on them anyway,
Modern relationships can be stressful, especially ones with humans. Today's person has no time for other people, let alone intimate relationships. We are edging into a world where the needlessness of human interaction has intersected with the reality of vibrating, self-lubricating mechanical genitals that spin at 3,000 RPM and play your favorite songs when you fuck them. The future of sex is here. This isn't your father's fake twat. This is a Fookbot. Log on to our website now and customize your very own Fookbot. All shapes, sizes, and colors of Fookbots are handmade at our paramilitary-run factory where food-motivated poor children in cages work around the clock to fill Fookbot orders from all over the globe, but mostly from Germany. Your Fookbot will never get a headache or have to wake up early for a meeting and ruin your need to blankly fire a load into the abyss. The public may shame you for your love of robot-assisted self-induced orgasms, but your Fookbot doesn't care. It can't. Guilt-free, love-free, pulse-free sex, the way Mark Zuckerberg intended. Design and order your Fookbot today and get a free air freshener to keep the droid of your life smelling of piney freshness. There are a lot of fuck dolls out there, but this is a Fookbot.
I know you're kind of up on some technology and stuff like this.
A little bit.
And AI, obviously, becoming much more prevalent in our society.
Yeah.
But AI, a lot of people are worried about it taking over jobs, human jobs.
Yeah. It's
robots taking over human jobs.
It's going to take over any form of repetitive type job that can really be easily, programmable.
Which brings me to my next point. They're taking all the sex work. These robots...
Are they currently, or they're about to? It's coming.
Oh, you think it's coming. It's already come, my friend. We're all coming, Nick. And it's to the tune of robot dicks.
Robot dicks.
So I'm going to show you a little something here. And I want you to just let us know how you feel about it. There you go, Nick. And feel free to skip ahead little bits. It's a 48-minute video.
It's a 48-minute video.
It's thorough. And what Nick is looking at...
What is happening?
It is a race, a go-kart sex robot race, where there are 8 ladies on top of robot go-karts out there in, I guess, somebody's backyard with a racetrack or whatever the fuck. And they're racing each other. They're driving around while dildos are simultaneously fucking them.
What the? Yeah, okay.
Okay, skip
And
ahead too. It gets really interesting.
It is Japan. Well, let's just get
Oh,
that
it's
out of the
for
way.
sure Japan. There's no way. Like, I mean, I just feel like I didn't even have to say it. Yeah, it's Japan.
Yeah, we knew. Yeah, go-karts,
Yeah, yeah.
fucking machines.
And that's what I'm saying. How can somebody with just a regular old skin dick like me, turn somebody on when there's a fucking robot going 80 miles an hour plowing somebody?
I mean,
while
it's
it
doing
sings
two
to them?
things. This is changing the game of Uber right now. There you go. That's Uber's like, do you want one with a robot dick in it?
Yeah, Uber XXX.
yeah, Uber XXX. It's like, I mean, the fucking rate's a lot higher than Uber XL, but my God, I want that robot dick right now.
Would you like a mint while you get fucked?
All right, so this is not what I was expecting. Before,
Wait, you're not done.
no, well, I'm not done. What? How far do?
It's like Ben-Hur. It's 4 hours long, man. You got to wait till the end. Okay, and then like halfway through, some guy comes out, fucks somebody. I don't know how he got in. And you notice the different positions.
another lap. Oh yeah, I see them.
Yeah,
now.
there's
I've seen-
laps. It's like the fucking Indy 500, dude. This is important shit.
There's that position. She looks more comfortable.
Yeah, the girl that's leaning back,
Yeah,
way
yeah.
more comfortable. Some of them are bent over.
She doesn't look like she even gives a fuck.
No, some of them look like they're having a crazy time. One of them comes like hard, and I just like you can tell her steering's not so good and everything. It's like Mario Kart.
Is this one going
ain't
into
your mama's Mario Kart, kid.
Is this one going into the pit to making a pit stop here?
Yeah, you're making a
Change
pit
the
stop.
dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally she's getting pulled aside in the pit.
Whoa.
Okay.
What's happening? It sounds great.
Well, they're taking her off the dildo.
Oh.
They're changing the dildo. You're right. They are doing exactly what we just said.
I love how the jokes we made.
Oh yeah, now this guy's fucking her,
Oh yeah. Well, he's like
keeping her warm. Is that what it is?
the manager.
This is fucking crazy.
They actually using the nuts and bolts sound. All the jokes we just made are
Yeah,
actually
this
coming
is
to
real.
life.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, and then get her back out there. Got a race to win, bitch. You didn't put the ball gag in. The ball gag I thought was important.
Yeah, you get penalized for not putting the ball gag back in. It's a 10-second penalty.
All right. Well, that is okay. That's pretty. I skipped forward pretty much the end.
Thank you.
I don't think that is going to take over.
I like how they've
I
got-
thought you were going to show me like actual sex robots like.
Is that not a sex robot to you? It
That's,
drives
I mean,
around while
but-
it fucks you.
Yeah, I know, but that's pretty rudimentary.
Rudimentary? There's fucking axles and fucking like moving parts.
I thought you
and-
meant something that looked real, like a human.
Yeah, there's those too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's the ones like the fuck dolls that warm up and stuff. And I imagine they're going to have some
Eventually,
kind of...
there'll be AI robots that you can fuck. That'll be like,
Well, what the fuck do you think that is? And whose golf cart track is that?
Yeah.
Whose house? Like, they're outside in this
Oh, yeah.
picturesque mountain
Yeah.
village. There's probably children around picking, vegetables and stuff like that.
oh yeah.
And then just, somebody getting fucked in the ass by a dildo just drives through. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a fucked up place.
So we'll be recording live from Mount Fuji, Japan next week here on Glorious and Free at the Fucktona 5000. And now it's time for everyone in Russia's favorite segment, Endangered Allies, where we call our endangered allies friends all over the world and talk to them directly about how they're doing. Today, we're talking to our old friend, the Asian Elephant. Asian Elephant, are you there?
Yep, I am here. Yep.
Ah, good to see ya. You're looking beefy. So, how is it going out there? Are things okay?
Things have been better. There used to be more of us, and there are currently dwindling numbers of me and my friends.
What the fuck is happening over there?
Well, it's we're a coveted animal. We're big, fat, and sexy, and people like that. And we got these tusks. So I guess that means a bunch of us have to die.
Now, I've read that your tusks are made of ivory, and if they grind that up, it'll make people horny, give men boners and girls gooshes. Is there any truth to that at all?
I don't see why it would. No one's been ever able to explain it to me, other than there's just fucked up people in. Let's face it. Let's cut the bullshit here in Japan, and they just think weird shit gets them really horny, and I don't know, maybe they just need to get outside more and stop with the weird bullshit, you know?
Now, here's an interesting question. Have you ever used your tusk in a sexual manner? Have you ever fucked anyone with your tusk?
Well, yes. Now, we use them sexually, and it's called tusking. It's because it's a very transgressive thing, right? So it would be, we find our tusk gross the same way people find urine and feces gross, and then we use that in a sexual manner because it feels wrong, right? So not all animals are into it, but some animals are into it. We're talking about the dwindling numbers of elephants. I would say 1/3 of our deaths are tusking-related mishaps.
1/3 of all elephant deaths are caused by tuskings to the asshole. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, here's the most important question. What can we as humans do to help you guys? I mean, we're the ones that fucked it all up for you. How can we make it better? Tell us what we can do for you, Asian elephant.
Well, stop making pianos and those weird old lady mirrors out of our tusks. Stop trying to kill us for our tusks to give you boners, because I'm pretty sure that's just not a thing. Yeah. And, when you see us coming, you look on us in awe, but just let us go, just give us a little bit of room,
Well, great talking to you, Asian elephant. You're an inspiration to everybody. Keep tickling those ivories out there. Bye.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Hey, let's talk about something more lighthearted.
Okay.
They banned abortion in a bunch of
I knew
places.
that's what you were going to do.
Let's put a smile on people's faces for a second. But yeah, this is so crazy. Obviously, in the States, they've been banning abortions all over the place. In Canada, we can get them for free. The government pays for them across the board. So sometimes I just happen to make sure I'm not pregnant.
Yeah. Just go in.
Yeah, just in case.
Can you check my vagina?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do up here in Canada. But socialized healthcare is beautiful. Like sometimes, the whole family will go for an abortion. Daughter's first abortion party is very big here. Little Canadian flags, gay flags waving around, and everybody stands around while the doctor gets her in the stirrups and kills that mistake.
It's funny because there'd be people right now, if they were in certain states, believing that to be true.
Oh, I'm sure they already believe it to be true.
Like that's what actually happened. We'll become like Canada.
I just thought it was a couple of them.
It's a lot more than I thought too. Yeah.
Well, Alabama is the only one where it's basically outright banned, but the other ones are sort of like low-key bans, So Alabama, like, you're not allowed to do it at all, but then you can do it. You just can't do it after 6 to 8 weeks, I believe. Yeah, abortions in Missouri, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, Ohio, and Louisiana. How are you going to ban abortions in the state where New Orleans and Mardi Gras is? You know how many abortions you need in that place?
Yeah.
New Orleans alone is probably half the abortion market
You get
in
a
America.
fucking thing of beads every abortion you get. Hey?
Yeah, I know, right? Show me your abortion. Show me your abortion. Little fetus with beads all over the place.
One thing too is, like, everybody's saying, like, it's illegal for the woman will go to jail if she gets an abortion. It won't. What it is, it's the doctor will go to jail. The women won't go to jail. They're not going to put women in jail. But what it does is it opens them up to, if they have like a natural miscarriage, that they can then be investigated as if their womb is a crime scene to see if it was induced or not.
God.
Yeah. So it's still insidious. It's just not
like tape off her vagina and stuff like that.
Yeah.
CSI in there. That's so fucking wild, man. So what the doctor would, I guess, be, because, I mean, at that point, if they're considering it a human, it would be a murder, right?
Yes, exactly. And then
so he could get charged with murder.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. In some of those states, they still have the death penalty. That guy could be put to death for a death. You can't be pro-life and pro-death penalty. It's so fucking crazy that people can't juggle, like, or somehow can juggle that moral in their head.
Well, and so many of these kids that that grow up in these places where the abortions aren't available, it end up not growing up in the greatest environments and stuff. And these people also defund all the social programs, the people that don't like abortions. So it's like you don't want to abort the kid, but you don't want to help it while it's alive.
Yeah.
And it'll die in suffering instead while he's alive. I don't know, man. It's all a disconnect.
Yeah. Not
they only care about babies. They don't seem to care about anybody after the age of 1.
No.
Something.
Yeah. baby grows up to be gay, they're not going to be happy about that baby.
Yeah, right.
And that's the thing. Like, you're against a medical procedure for an unwanted pregnancy, for something that doesn't have consciousness, isn't alive, but you're okay with the state murdering people in an inhumane way, which they've already proven a lethal injection is an insanely inhumane way to kill somebody, and then the state doing it based on like not even enough evidence, lying cops, eyewitness testimony that's been disproven. Like, it's crazy that people can juggle that in their heads. I don't know.
It's a wild time thinking about these abortions too, because it was so long ago that like Roe v. Wade happened. It was in the 70s or something for America, and now they're rolling it back. And it's just weird to see people's bodies actually become like almost property of the government. But when they're talking about sort of like these, the Utah and Arizona, they banned anything after 18 to 22 weeks or something. Yeah, 18 to 22 weeks is Utah and Arizona, and then 6 to 8 weeks is Missouri, Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, Louisiana, Ohio, and then of course Alabama banned everything unless it the lady's life is in danger. But I'm gonna be honest with you, if she doesn't have the abortion, her party life is in danger. You know what I mean? That Greek life is in danger,
Not
baby.
going to Cabo. Not going to Cabo.
Senor Frogs is gonna
That
miss
Chris
you for
Rock
sure.
joke was always so funny. It's just like the only thing a guy can say for an abortion is like, well, what you gonna do? Can't really, you can't. And then it was just like, she's got to talk to her friends, and her friends are like, oh, you got to have that baby. Oh, he's got good hair or whatever. And that's like, sometimes, no, we're going to Mexico next week. Get rid of that baby. Just like the different opinions you get.
You probably know 2 or 3 people in your life that have had abortions. They just haven't told you because it's not a great topic at Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah,
for
people don't like to bring it
conversation.
up that often. Yeah.
And if we did all of a sudden just decide to stop having abortions, do you know how many shitty children would be running around? Like, because most people that need these abortions, it's because, it's hard to take care of, or their body can't handle it. There's
They
such
don't have the money.
Yeah, there's such a myriad of. That's the thing I love about rich people going like, oh, well, you can't have abortions. Like, well, yeah, it's because you need to be rich to have fucking kids. If I had $10 million, whatever, fucking, I'll pump out kids all day. Just like, here's another job for a nanny.
Yeah,
or whatever
but
the
like
fuck.
you're forced to have a kid, and then you have it, and then you got to work 2 jobs, and you're working 60-something hours a week. You never raise that kid. He's not like, it's not like it's better that he was born to be not raised properly, and then I don't know. Again, complicated like questions that you need to talk about and figure it out. There's other parts of society that need to be fixed, so that isn't a necessary thing either.
Right.
But like, until you're gonna fix, like, it's like, don't raise minimum wage. You must have a baby. Like, it's like that's the rights hypocrisy. It's like, if you want people to be more inclined to have these kids, raise the minimum wage, make education more accessible. Like, all the other things that you could do. Stop fucking sending all your shit overseas or offshore so you don't pay any fucking taxes for anything.
Right.
Like, you could also not be hypocrites. So, yeah, that's why the whole goddamn system, I don't know, climate crisis, I guess, will change everything.
Abortion crisis.
Abortion crisis.
Well, Nicholas Beaton, I love having you here. Thanks so much
man.
for coming by.
Yeah.
Can you plug your social medias for us?
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter at Nick_Beaton. Facebook, if you want, you can follow me on my comedian page. That'll show you how much I care about it. Nick Beaton Comedian, but who gives a fuck about that? But actually, listen to my podcast. It's called Third Rail with Nick Beaton.
Nice.
And you get that wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, we'll put a link to it. Third Rail. It's a great podcast. Cool, man. Well, thanks so
Awesome.
much. And check out Nick this summer, 2019, and Just for Laughs, and
come
look
to
out for him
Montreal
on
and see that
TV.
shit. Yeah,
It'll be sweet. Thanks so much. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight on Glorious and Free.
Yeah.